Last piece of information that I want to share with you is some vocabulary about the shape of the graph. We define concave up as being this shape and concave down as being this shape. So an easy way to remember it is that concave up is a cup, maybe a cup of hot tea on a cold day like this. So concave up is a cup. Concave down is a frown. So if you remember, concave up is a cup, concave down is a frown. We can identify sections of the graph that are concave up and down. So all these red values are all concave down. So these sections of the graph are all concave down. These blue sections of the graph here are all concave up. Now the point of inflection is the point at which the curve changes from concave up to concave down, or vice versa. So this, all these black points are all points of inflection. In other words, where does the graph change from being concave down to being concave up? And it turns out that these points are significant in that the slope of the graph at the points of inflection is at a maximum. So think about here, if we were thinking about the slope of this graph, it's fairly steep, but then as we get to the top, the slope gets less steep. You could think of it as, so let me kind of just draw another thing here. So here would be the slope here, pretty steep, a little less steep. The slope is 0 here. Now the slope gets a little bit more, this is steeper in the negative direction, a little more steep. Now it's getting less steep. Now it's 0. Well, the point of inflection is the point at the maximum amount of steepness of the slope, or the maximum rate of change. And that's a really important concept in calculus, and a point that we'll be talking about more later. But I just wanted to give you that vocabulary so you would recognize concave up, concave down, and points of inflection.